When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. This is a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
Mercy on you, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Israel. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we backed by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seasonally wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride. Just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya.
Mercy, mercy on you. Mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Yisrael. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething and wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise, yeah. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed with a smiling face. The praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation. And I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. This is a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube. Welcome to our prophecy class. Today we are in the book of Isaiah and chapter 2, but before we get started, does anyone have any questions? No?
No questions, Mama?
No questions at the moment.
You ain't found it yet, that's what it is.
Leave it open for right now.
Okay. All right, then, again, we are in the book of Isaiah, chapter 2. Some of it is at the time that it is happening. He was writing about these things, but then the vision goes look further in the east. So we're going to look at this, verse 1 to verse 5. Brother Stephen, we're going to pick it up at verse 6.
Start at 1? Oh, okay. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the Elohim of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of Yahweh.
Now that puts the period with that prophecy there, because it is speaking about the children of Israel. Now it says all nations gonna flow up into Yahweh's house and learn about his law. But they used to believe this back in the early centuries of Europe and Germany. They read this and I understood what it was saying, because they made statues. Verse 4, it says, they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. They make images of that very scenario right there. So they have read that, but when you look over in Europe today, you see that they don't even go to church much over there anymore.
Correct.
And the thing that they've gotten off into ain't got nothing to do with Christianity, but they do come gather themselves in a great number of people, and they actually worshiping the devil.
Elder, that statue you're talking about, it's a man holding an agricultural tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've read this, and somehow they just got away from it, because they put so much stock in it that they would make a statue of this very scenario of swords and the plowshares and spears and the pruning hooks. But let's continue, Brother Stan.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 6. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and assume themselves like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers.
Now that last part of that verse here represents us these days. And they please themselves in the children of strangers. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Verse 7. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made.
Well, what makes that different than today in verse 7? It said their land also is full of silver and gold. We're not one of the most prosperous minorities in America.
Mm-hmm.
We get paid the big money. We got millionaires, we got billionaires among us. They said the land is also full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. So they were prosperous back in those days, and we're prosperous here. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 9. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself Therefore forgive them not.
Well, I looked up that word mean when it says, and the mean man bowed himself down. That actually is saying that someone of low degree. And he says, then a man of low degree bows down, and the great man humbleth himself, therefore forgive them not. Because remember in verse 8 it says, their land is also full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. So you got prosperous Christians with crosses all in their house. So again, we look at a parallel here, that we're doing nothing more than what our father was doing. Yahweh had an issue with what they were doing because of those idols, and he's got the same issue here, but they don't know that that's an issue with the God of the creation. But go ahead, Brother Stephen.
I have a question, Elder. So when they said the mean man, and you said it's a man of low degree, so that means a poor person?
No, not necessarily poor, but a man of poor character.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking. Character. Yeah.
Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fence wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pitches.
Now, we don't fit exactly these characteristics, but that's what they are. They're characteristics of the mindset of our fathers, that pride had deceived them, that thought that they themselves got their own wealth and power. It says, for instance, in verse 11, it says, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Now, you can't get no prouder than a Christian, black Christian preacher. And upon all, and upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan. So we got to look at that as characteristics, not necessarily literal cedars of Lebanon. The mindset of our people were like this. And upon all the mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fence wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pitchers, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. So again, it still points to us in these days and times, because we can see exactly what Isaiah saw back in those days. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 18. And the idols he shall utterly abolish. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he arises to shake terribly the earth. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he arises to shake terribly the earth. Cease you from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for when is he to be accounted of?
So your president should have read this. It says in verse 20, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself, to worship to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of ragged rocks, for fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he rises to shake terribly the earth. cease you from man whose breath is in his nostril, for wherein is he to be accounted. So we got a gold statue of Donald Trump.
I seen that this morning, man.
God.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen that one.
They have made a gold statue of Donald Trump.
I think this was from it's in that Kirk, right?
I don't know where.
I think it's that, and you know what? I more than likely, I think I'm correct. I think it was that it's in that Kirk, but and it's a black preacher,
Well,
if I'm not mistaken.
they prayed over that statue. And I haven't actually seen it, but they described it as that moment when he got shot and he raised his fist up like that. They made a gold statue of that.
Wow.
And they prayed over that gold statue. And Donald Trump didn't say nothing against it.
Oh, of course not.
he probably still looking for 2 Corinthians.
There you go. I go Otis.
Well, what the hell you doing here, man?
It's Mother's Day.
No, he's supposed to be with his wife.
That's what I'm saying. It's Mother's Day.
She must be mad at him. Get out of here. You know you want to go to them niggas Yeah, that married life something else, bro. I got to take my hat off to you brothers, man. Y'all married brothers. Yeah. Shalom, Otis. How you doing?
Good to see you back.
Oh,
I was Mother's Day in church.
That's the reason I'm here. I didn't go.
good comeback, Otis.
Yeah. Shalom. Let's continue. Brother Stephen, let's go to Isaiah chapter 3. And again, you're going to see the similarities of those days that Isaiah prophesied as opposed to today, right? So what you want to do, Stephen, is read verse 1 in chapter 3 to verse 12.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1. For, behold, the Adonai, Yahweh of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Yehuda the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable.
So you see the similarities. That we have the same issues today among the children of Israel. That it's, but look at how it starts it off. It says, for behold, the Adonai Yahweh of hosts does take away from Jerusalem and from Yehuda the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water. The mighty man, now that hadn't happened to us, but it is on the way. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, these are honorable men we're speaking about here. The captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator. So we're talking about the great men of the children of Israel that had gifts and talents. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. Now, didn't you say you were riding a bus one time and these brothers were standing up, wouldn't sit down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the young.
Yeah, you couldn't even go to the back and get a seat. They just stand there like they're hanging out on the corner.
Yeah, that's today.
Yeah.
So, again, it's like history repeating itself. And the main reason for that is because they have no law. They have no structure in the family, no structure in the society, no structure in the community. So, yeah, you're going to have babes rule over them. And the child's going to should behave himself proudly against the ancient. They cuss old people out. Go ahead.
I remember years ago, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Thank you.
but it was downtown Atlanta. This girl got into it with an 84-year-old woman. She grabbed that woman out of that seat, man, and beat that woman down. That was on the news. They showed it. It was real graphic. This girl, about 22 years old, and grabbed an 84-year-old woman. Instead of just walking away, you know, they're going to cut you out anyway. She grabbed that woman, beat her, man, like she was beating a rug with a bat.
They doing things to them?
Yeah, they locked her up.
Yeah. See that they so emotionally unbalanced that they snap without even thinking about what they're doing, and they don't stop until they have destroyed whoever they're fighting with. You seen how women start fighting when they're fighting each other? They out to destroy each other. Yeah.
You want where that
Brothers-
anger come from? You trying to step on the head and you like, oh,
Yeah.
man, why you so mad?
And I mean, they got videos of this, right? And then you see these brothers try to break it up. I say, leave them people alone. You're not gonna break them up. So let them fight till they get tired of one of them die. Because you think you're some kind of hero? You look like a damn fool getting between them two women, especially if they're bigger than he is. You're gonna say something over there.
Yeah, what does it mean when it say the base against the honorable? What's that?
The people of, like I was mentioning before, people of low degree, like somebody from the hood, looking down on somebody from Buckhead.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead, brother.
I got a question. You said in verse 2 that hasn't happened yet. What hasn't happened yet?
The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of the 50, the honorable man and the counselor. What did I say about that? That hadn't
You
happened
said,
yet?
you said in verse 2, when you had mentioned the mighty man and the man of war and the judge and all of them, you said that hasn't happened yet. I was wondering.
Well, you have to start at verse 1. It says, "For behold, the Adonai Yahweh of hosts does take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff and the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient." So I was referring to verse 1 as you continue on down to verse 2.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 6. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be an healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing, make me not a ruler of the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehuda is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance does witness against them, and they declare that sin is Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say you to the righteous that it shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths.
Now, what makes that different from now?
Nothing.
It says in verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. That's unheard of. No society, no nation has ever had women to rule over them, but then look at us. We allowed that. And we still do that today. We campaign for these women running for office. I mean, men campaigning for them. For them to do what? Because if you notice in the news, they arrested some of these elected officials. Some of these judges, these black women judges, they arrested them. They all into some kind of wickedness, and as if the FBI ain't watching. The FBI watching. See, it ain't like the Democratic FBI when they watch the Republicans. But this FBI here, they watch black people, not white folk too. It just so happened black people are Democrats. So not nothing political, but they just off into law breaking. Look up there in Minnesota. billions of taxpayer money been swindled out of the community. And the mayor and the governor won't say nothing against it. Yeah.
I watched this one thing about the Minnesota situation. What they don't tell you on the news that he didn't say that because they have Esau got this whole community up there, a whole city, don't nobody work. They got about, you seen it, about 8 or 9 kids, he's one of them, and ain't nobody saying that. They pretty much run the city. And this one dude, internet guy, he was exposing it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they don't try to counsel him because he was exposing, he said, okay, y'all going after these Ethiopian people, but you guys living up the government. Y'all got a whole
Esau?
city. Yeah, Esau.
Oh, up in New York.
Up in
Oh, I
yeah.
seen that. Yeah.
I've seen that.
So they
I've
was like,
seen
so
that.
he exposed that, but then when he went to this other city, they was like, okay, now you can talk about them folks, but you ain't been talking about us.
Yeah. Esau on
Breaking it
welfare,
off.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he don't
they
even
mad
work.
about that.
Esau.
They try to ban that, and that's how they banning him.
Every time you think about welfare, you're thinking of a single black woman.
Yeah,
That's the picture
That's how
they put
do.
up there.
That's how they
But
do.
Esau running that game, man. He's doing the same thing he pointed the finger at black women doing. Only difference is the husbands are in on it too. And you know, in that interview where the husband said, I don't work. And he ain't scared to say it either.
Idiot. Why you say it on camera?
Yeah,
Even if you were doing the work, you can say it.
but they got this thing so twisted it make us look terrible when it's them all along. And white folks on welfare are more than black people.
Yeah.
But you never see a picture of white folks on welfare. You always see black women with 5 or 6 children, no husband, crying about she ain't get her check. And so it is what it is. We are at the hands of our enemies, and we don't even realize we're at the hands of our enemies, especially when you got some of these brothers out here that will do anything to make black people look silly. Because they pay them enough money, they will make black people look silly or look criminal. They do this on purpose. For 400 years, they've been doing this to us. And nobody's picking up on it, because if they had, they wouldn't be doing these things. They couldn't buy off a person to make us look bad, because we have too much integrity. Why would we want our own people to look bad? So they got their own cliques protecting them, but we don't have anyone protecting us. Yeah. Brother Stephen, let's go to chapter 4. And pick it up at verse 1.
Uh-oh. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach.
That's a lot in that verse right there. What it is saying, you're going to have independent women that know how to take care of themselves. The only thing missing in their life is a man's name.
Right.
And to be in that kingdom, let's talk about the future. To be in that kingdom, you can't be a single woman without a man's name. You got to have a man's name to show that you belong to someone. Right now, that attitude ain't with black women. Because like I said yesterday, you don't need no man. But this here, yeah, you're going to need a man here. 7 women. And that's small compared to all the women in the world, all the women among black women. That's small. It's, at one time, what was it, 30 to 1 here in Atlanta?
That's modest.
Now, that's small.
Yeah.
Because that was back 20, 30 years ago. We ain't talking about the people that have come to Atlanta. And so the ratio could be much, much higher. Maybe about 50 to 1.
That's what the guy said. He said be anywhere from 50 to 100 women for one brother.
For one man. And you can understand why some of them have just given up. Because the odds are too much. Because they're looking for one man, 100 women looking for one man.
And it's like they did something in Atlanta. They said that the population of the metro area is 6.25 million, and when you start narrowing it down to the choice that the women have, you know, you got that gay population, so they losing on that end.
Yeah.
And the other brothers are married, and then you got the other brothers that want 5 or 6 women, and so
That's what.
it's slim. So that's why you got women going to women, and
Yeah, no.
it's slim pickings for them.
Yeah, for a good woman.
Well, I ain't gonna say slim pickings. It's pickings for the brothers, you know, the brothers that are single, but then what you got to deal with.
You got
Well, actually, it's a buyer's market.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So that the women got to show their best attributes to a single man to see if he will be attracted to her to take it to a further relationship.
Yeah.
But he got too much to choose from. He can compare products.
That's
So,
right.
so the women got to, first of all, they got to understand what is he looking for, because they dress like they don't know what a man looking for. They get them BBLs and put all that makeup on, and eyelashes out to here. They think that's attractive to a man. No, you're absolutely wrong, man. They ain't looking for a woman look like that. And like we were saying earlier, that's just for attention anyway. The women don't care about relationships. They want attention. So they wear the most provocative clothing so that men can follow them as they walk down the street. And they know you're watching them. They can look straight ahead, and you standing over there, you walk straight ahead, and they know you're watching them.
Yeah.
I caught one day. Watching me. I caught him. Yeah. She didn't know I saw her, but yeah, I saw you checking me out.
You look like you got some
That's what
money.
I'm talking about, yo.
Got that gray.
No. This was 100 years ago. When I looked, I'm not talking about now. That's when I was young, man.
New car.
I wasn't born with gray hair, man.
I can always look like this.
Well, you know, I saw a documentary where this sister, she said, I got kids, I realize I messed up, but I am willing to enter into a polygamous situation. I don't, you know, if he's married, it's fine. I need him to come up here and help me raise my sons. A lot of that's going on now.
Well,
Women don't mind sharing. Yeah. You
well,
got some women, they don't care about sharing.
yeah. I don't know about that though.
I mean, what you gonna do, what a woman gonna do with a house full of boys?
Yeah, I know, but who fault is that?
Hers.
Yeah. Well, that no man that a man won't take her home.
Yeah, well, it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No man is gonna really come in there unless he basically homeless and needs somewhere to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
The thing is, see, the man also counts the fact that that child that she wants to raise got to be disciplined. And these women will not allow a strange man, to discipline their child. That'll ruin marriage, that'll ruin a relationship, because the man know how to discipline a child, and she don't agree with the way he discipline a child. So they think that it's a waste of time trying to get marry a man that you want a man to raise your child, but then you don't want him to raise it, because discipline is part of raising up a child. And just because the man hard-handed might be what that child needs, but you looking at it and say, he hurting my baby.
Yeah, I dated a lady years ago, had a daughter, and I used to tell her, I said, when you sit at the table, don't sit like that, sit up to the table. She looked me straight and I said, you ain't my dad.
See?
I said, oh, okay.
See? See?
Her mother didn't have to say nothing about it. She was in her mother's stead. She said,
Yeah.
you ain't my daddy, buddy.
Yeah. What man want to put up with that? I'm sorry, that man ain't gonna put up with that mess. So yeah, you go ahead and look for a man all you want, but you ain't gonna find him. Ray Ray and Pookie won't even come around you. Go ahead, Brother Stephen. Read verse 1 again.
Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem, when Yahweh shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And Yahweh will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain.
So these are just metaphors and similes of how Yahweh is going to protect his people when they return back into the land. And verse 2, it says, in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Who is this branch?
Where's she at?
No.
Jump
Read it
at
again.
John 15.
Hmm?
Got John 15 for that.
John 15?
Is that too?
Yeah,
1 through
that's
6.
actually referring to Psalm 80, 81. But nevertheless, let's look at, okay, you say in John 15, right?
1 through 6.
No, just at verse 1.
Okay.
Where he says, I'm the true branch.
John 15, 1 through 6. That what I
True God.
It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman, right? So you're going to connect that with verse 2, right? That's what you're saying?
I wrote down. I might have the wrong thing, but then I got on that. I got Psalms 80.
Mm-hmm. Psalm 80, 8 through 19.
8 through, okay. I got 8 through 16, so 8 through 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, again, let's go back to verse 2. It says, in that day, so I'm trying to let you see another side to this branch.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It says, in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Now, let's look at another vision of this branch. Let's continue this on verse chapter 5, verse 7.
Right. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved has a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes.
This is a song. Right? He's singing this, right? But again, he's looking at the children of Israel as if they are branches, or they are a vineyard,
Right.
in the land of Israel, right? So what is he expecting them to bring forth? He says in verse 2, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein, and looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. So whatever that they were supposed to be doing, they weren't doing. They're doing something totally opposite. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 3. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Yehuda, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Why, when I looked at it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes?
That's what, like, they had the law, but then they added religion, Judaism, to the law. That's the wild grape. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Verse 5. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the heads thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down, and I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Yehuda his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry.
Isn't that the scenario that the Shiite showed up at when dealing with the scribes and Pharisees, because they were practicing Judaism, and he was trying to bring them back to the law, right? Bring them back to Yahweh. So what we have here is a reflection of verse 2 in chapter 4. It says, in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the true fruit of the earth shall be excellent and common for them that are escaped of Israel. So he's talking about the aftermath of this destruction of his people. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place that they may be placed along in the midst of the earth. In mine ears, saith Yahweh of hosts, of a truth, many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of an almond shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue unto night till wine inflame them. And the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feasts, but they regard not the work of Yahweh, neither consider the operation of his hands. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Thirst for what? Thirst for the spirit. It says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. We had no knowledge when we came here to America, so we were brought up in the as slaves, actually. But after the slave period was over, we didn't know who we were. We didn't know where we came from, right? So they had no knowledge of who they were. Excuse me. And all they knew was what the white man taught them, right? So that's why they're in captivity to this very day, because they have no knowledge. They don't even know they're in captivity.
Right.
Black people think they're free.
These Americans.
You mention it to them.
Huh?
So you mention it to them, they get mad at you. Just like my forefathers did. Like, we ain't been no slaves. We ain't no slaves. We ain't in no curse.
Yeah, well, they are in the midst of denial. And I'm not talking about the river.
Well, you know, Elder, when you look at it, it's kind of like it's a twofold thing, because the money that our people make, being the wealthy slaves on earth, they don't think they captives. They don't think that.
Yeah.
Because you making more money than the average Gentile, especially these sisters. I mean, they making some silly money.
Yeah.
And you gonna tell them, hey, really, you're a captive. You in this land against your will.
Yeah.
You can't go nowhere.
No.
They holding you here.
I know.
Because they know as long as they hold you here, ain't nothing gonna happen to America.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a smooth game.
Yeah.
You gotta admit it. Because they know we have no knowledge at all, and we're easily influenced and by gifts from the government and from private individuals. We get paid off real quick. It don't take much either. You gonna say something?
I was gonna ask about that verse 8. It said, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay fields to fields, till there is no place that may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And it's talk. I'm seeing this verse and I'm thinking about people that you know how they got us living in buildings and you know
Apartments.
Apartments and
Yeah.
land. Yeah, you field to field. You can't really tell who's who. Is that what it's talking about?
Yeah, but only you can compare that to now, because we can't imagine how the communities were arranged, because each tribe had their own land, and we don't know how much land that they have. So could they be land like we got now? We got houses right next to each other, and they got a fence separating it, so you know where the property line is. So was that the question? Is was it like that back in them days? I don't think we had that many people. Plus, the land was small anyway. America's a continent. You can get your house, get you some property anywhere. But here, this is a small country, so you don't have very much room to move around in. But it wasn't supposed to be that way. Every man had his own vineyard, had his own house, so they wouldn't be that close to one another. But they got it set up now, so it might be the same economic system that we have now. Renting. They were renting these, I would say, condos, and so that nobody knew what the property line was. Now, I don't know what kind of economic system they had back in the day, but that's what it sounds like here, that they almost were living in apartments. But it wasn't supposed to be that way. Every man was supposed to have his own house and his own property line. Go ahead, brother. Yeah.
When I was in Desert Storm, they had the Saudi Arabians. They built buildings for the nomad people that lived in the desert and stuff like that. But they refused to live in those apartments because they were saying that it was against the will of God for them to live on top of each other like that. So the United States ended up, that's how they got the buildings, because the United States ended up moving my military into those buildings, because a lot of those buildings was just abandoned because they couldn't get the people to move in those buildings. Yeah.
Does that sound familiar, Steve? What he just said? That these men refused to move into apartments because that wasn't their tradition. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Where?
I can't think it sound familiar. I just can't.
In Jeremiah, with the Rechabites,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
right? Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it.
I never would. What y'all saying sound familiar, but I couldn't put it in Jeremiah.
It hit me when they said that. Let's see here.
It went 35, 34,
Yeah, something right along in there.
35.
35. Let's look at that. Because we're going to see exactly what Brother Otis was talking about here.
Jeremiah, what chapter?
Jeremiah chapter 35, pick it up at verse 1, Brother Stephen. And we're going to see the same scenario that you just described.
Jeremiah chapter 35, verse 1. The word which came unto Jeremiah from Yahweh in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Yehudah, saying, Go into the house of the Rechabites and speak unto them, and bring them into the house of Yahweh, into one of the chambers, and give them wine to drink. Then I took Yaazaniah, the son of Jeremiah, the son of Habazaniah, and his brethren, and all his sons, and the whole house of the Rechabites, and I brought them into the house of Yahweh, into the chamber of the sons of Hanan, the son of Igdaliah, a man of Elohim, which was by the chamber of the princes, which was above the chamber of Melchiah, the son of Shalom, the keeper of the door. And I set before the sons of the house of the Rechabites pots full of wines and cups. And I said unto them, Drink ye wine. But they said, We will drink no wine, for Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, saying, You shall drink no wine, neither you nor your sons forever, neither shall you build house, nor sow seed, nor plant vineyard, nor have any, but all your days you shall dwell in tents, that you may live many days in the land where you be strangers. Thus have we obeyed the voice of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, in all that he hath charged us, to drink no wine all our days, we, our wives, our sons, nor our daughters, nor to build houses for us to dwell in, neither have we vineyard, nor field, nor seed, but we have dwelt in tents, and have obeyed and done according to all that Jonadab our father commanded us. But it came to pass when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up into the land, that we said, Come, and let us go to Jerusalem for fear of the army of the Chaldeans, and for fear of the army of the Syrians. So we dwell at Jerusalem.
So I don't want to go no further than that. I just wanted to show you the similarities of what you were talking about. That there are groups of people that have certain values that they will not transgress. So the people that you're referring to, people that said that we will not live in apartment type situations. So you got the Rechabites got the same mindset that they're never going to build a house. They're not going to plant a field. They're not going to set up anything that is permanent. And so they built those houses for those nomadic people, right? But the Rechabites were nomadic people too. Doesn't make sense. Let's go back to Isaiah. I just want because when you brought it up, it just rang a bell.
That was a good chapter to read, brother. That really described it to the T. Praise y'all for giving me that spirit, bro.
Praise y'all.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 9. In mine ears, saith Yahweh of hosts, of a truth. Well, wait a minute, I'm at verse 11. I'm sorry. I'll just read it. In mine ears, saith Yahweh of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of an almond shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue unto night to wine inflamed. Man, I'm way behind, ain't
Go on, read, Steve.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off, brother.
That's all right.
I'm about 4 or 5 verses behind.
Yeah, because we was at verse 13 when it said people going into captivity because of lack of knowledge. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Right. So, let's pick it up at verse 14.
Yeah. Therefore hell have enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted, and Elohim that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope, that say, Let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it.
You see what they daring him. In verse 18 it said, Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, wickedness with flatteries, and sin as it were with a cart rope, because being sinful was not a very bad thing for them to do. So they carried the sin around with them. That say, let him make speed and hasten his word, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. So he's daring him. What you got? And when is this stuff supposed to happen? Go ahead, Brother Shepard.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Isn't that what we have now? It says, woe unto them that call evil good. So you mean to tell me it's all right for a grown man to go into the restroom with a little girl? You don't see anything wrong with that. You don't see anything wrong with a man dressed up like a woman, pretending that, claiming that he is a woman. You don't think something wrong with that. You call it evil good. Because now they got protected rights now. your taxpayer money protect these people. You can't discriminate against them.
The evil was protected, Elder.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at it from Clinton, all them Democrats come along. Trump had to come along and get men out of women's sports.
Yeah,
And Trump, he want to do something with Planned Parenthood. Trump don't go along with abortion.
right.
All these presidents, these ones we love, these Democrats, they don't care. Because they know the amount of people they're dealing with, especially with black people.
Yeah, black women, especially, because black women want to be in charge,
Yeah.
right? So there's no more power that a black woman can have than over her own reproductive system. Because they will not allow a man to say anything about her reproductive system, or about her getting pregnant, or about her getting an abortion. That means they feel like they have the authority to say what I want this child born or not. But what about the man? Without the man, you wouldn't be pregnant. So you're taking advantage of the man. Now, granted, you got Ray-Rays and Poogies out there that don't give a damn anyway. But what about those men that do give a damn about their child? They ain't got no voice in it. So that woman want to abort that child, ain't nothing he can do about it. And she's got to answer for that, but at least he fought for that child to be born. And that's why they want black women to abort their children, because it gives them a sense of power over the black man. Okay, you can't tell me what to do anymore, because I have your child and I can kill your child.
Sick.
And that's their power. And that's how they show so much disrespect for black people. And that, I wish you could have heard me yesterday. But I was coming from that point of view of the power that black women have today, that the white man gave them all this power and they don't know how to use it. The most powerful woman in the world is a feminine, quiet woman. Because she knows when to speak and when not to speak. And she knows how to get power, not by snatching it, but by smooth talking to it. So she married to a very popular, like Esther, married to the king of Ahasuerus, right? She knew how to approach her husband. She knew, I can't come around him any time of day I want. If I walk up, if he don't hold that staff out, I could die, and I'm his wife. So they had standards back in them days. So the king said, well, what you want, Esther? To half of my kingdom, I give it to you. Right? He loved Esther. And Esther had to play that game real smooth. Not just to expose herself, but to expose Haman. She set the whole thing up, and that's what's so beautiful about it. She set it up so that Haman could be exposed as a man that's trying to kill her and her people off. But she didn't go there. That damn Haman. You need to go there and get him out of here. She didn't go do it like that. She set that thing, that's that femininity that she knew her husband loved. And besides being red bone and bow-legged,
She did what he told her to. Mordecai told her, don't tell nobody you're a Jew, right?
Right.
She kept that under, you're right. She kept everything under wraps.
Right. So
Was she really a sister?
she's a Benjamite.
Yeah, I'm saying,
She probably didn't look like one.
yeah, I think they thought she was a Shemite, but I'm just playing with you. She wasn't an average sister then when people mouth shut.
Steve, there are women that are dark skinned too that can know how to play the role of a feminine woman.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, but that's why I can understand why Esther had to be a red bone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because some of these sisters do not want to approach her husband as if he's in trouble. She's married to a king. She realizes she's married to a king, so she got to play the role of the queen.
Yeah, she had to be fair-skinned woman. Because she was dark-skinned, they would know she was either Israelite or Hamite, right?
Well, I'm looking at Vashti.
Yeah.
Now, Vashti was commanded by the king to come and let my boys see you. And she said, I don't think so, not today. And that pissed him off.
You know it did.
Because he's in front of his crew. And he's trying to show his crew, look how beautiful my wife is. And she said, no, I'm not coming over that night. That's the last time he heard about Vashti.
Yeah.
Because you don't do that to a king. They told the king, hey, you better do something about this. Because if these women hear about what Vashti did, they're going to do it the same way you did. They did you. So they told him, go out there and find your virgin. Start this thing all over again. Right? And being king, he had access to all the virgins in his province. So he knew the women were in competition with each other to be the queen. And so he had authority to, and all of them virgins, right? He had authority to sleep with every last one of them and decide whether he want to keep them or not.
Right.
Right? Now, just because he sleep with these virgins don't mean he cast them out and then married and then cast them out. They became his concubines. And that's, hey, ain't nothing wrong with being a king's concubine. You still getting well taken care of. But you got to start off as a virgin, though. Let's show you how valuable virgins were back in them days. So if you want to move up in the world, it ain't about what you think, about how much education you got. It's whether you are valuable enough with your virginity. You kept yourself from other men. And that's what men value. See, that's something these women are missing. That a man actually wants a virgin. Now, I ain't gonna say a man. I say an Israelite man. Don't put it that way. An Israelite man wants a virgin.
Amen.
Now, Ray and Pooka don't give a damn.
No.
And them YNs don't give a damn either. So they get these girls pregnant and run on off. Girl don't even know his name. You remember Maury Povich? Right? Girl done had a child, but I had 16 men. And they don't know who the father is. Then when they check the DNA, and then one of them the father.
16.
And them brother be dancing on stage. You seen them? They be dancing on stage. Oh, hell yeah. That she can't prove. Now, if you slept with 16 men and neither one of them was your child daddy, and you get on television and expose your wickedness before the whole world,
Wow.
you make all us look bad. You make all of black people look bad, because that means that you just old hoe. And so that's acceptable to black people.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't mind being called, black women don't mind being called hoes. What is that? Where do you get that mindset? That you accept being called and labeled a hoe, and then dress like one. Who does this? What other minority, ethnic group, lets the women behave the way black women behave? Get on television and act a fool like these people on Maury Povich. You don't see nobody with black women, and maybe some white women, but you don't see Julio on there.
No.
You don't see any Ethiopians on there. You don't see any other ethnic group on there doing what they're doing, but they put us out there. So we kind of bring this on ourselves.
Curses are real.
Yeah.
For a free plane flight and stay in a hotel, you wouldn't go on television and make an ass out your trip.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing with women, they smart for as, getting jobs and everything, but for us being feminine, they think they can do what we do.
Yeah.
You take a man, he go out there and walk all over town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later he can get married.
Yeah.
She do that?
No.
Nobody gonna fool with her. A woman cannot do what a man do.
Can't do it.
No, physically, she can't do it. She can't. If she go lay around, everybody gonna know about it for some reason or another.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at back in the day, man, back in the 40s and 50s, people that are married and look happily married, but the man got 5 or 6 outside children. Mm-hmm. But he's still married to his wife, and they got children. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a big deal back in them days. Then one man paying no child support back in them days. I didn't find out I had a half brother till I was 20 years old.
Wow.
And I had a half sister that I didn't know until I was 25. And she was older than me.
Unless he passed away and then everybody there.
It's like, I didn't know that top brother.
And she loved my daddy. And so I was glad to meet her because I looked at her and I looked at my mother's daughter, my sister. They looked like twins. Both of them looked like my daddy. So, yeah, but again, it wasn't a big deal back in them days. Cause they were still loved by the father, even the father didn't give a damn about them, but at least they know where they came from. So today, they don't even care where they came from. They don't even know who their daddy is. Don't want to know. Want to be like the mama. See, the mama want to be like the little girl and dress all fly, and the girl want to be like the mama and dress all fly. So they're in competition with one another. And sometimes it work. Sometimes them women do not like them little girls and try to get them out of the house. So they give them bad advice about how to get a man, just so she can't get a man. You're doing your own children that way. What kind of person are you? You treating your own daughter as if she's the competition.
Well, yeah, they do, because I met a sister, and that sister pulled me aside and said, you know what, I got all against my mother. Every guy used to bring to the house, she was 18, her mother was 36. Her mother tried to hit on her boyfriend.
See?
She said she had to get out of that house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You right, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. We're weird people, bro, but it's something that when we compare what we read here takes us away from that lifestyle. It has us looking back at what they're doing and see, we can say, hey, that's wrong. We're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. But it says here, in verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and that put darkness for light and light for darkness, and that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. You got some of the black Christian pastors doing the very same thing, actually promoting homosexuality. You got black teachers and principals promoting homosexuality in these public schools.
Wow.
And why it got to be black? I mean, I know you got you got white teachers advocating their lifestyle, and they try to get them teachers to stop talking about that lifestyle in the classroom. Teach the class, teach about to read and write.
Right.
But they want to talk about their lifestyle, how much they love of their wife, of their husband, whoever they say they're married to. But that's called, again, that is called what they call evil good. That they're human beings, and there's nothing wrong with them loving one another. Well, yeah, you had the Supreme Court pass that law saying it's all right for two men and two women to get married. But you said they weren't going to go beyond that. But now you're trying to infest the schools with that mindset that it's all right for a little girl like another little girl, a boy like a little boy, and for them to have sex. Well, now you're taking it beyond the boundaries of what the Supreme Court said. But you knew that was going to happen. So you just wanted a foot step in the door, so you can prop that door open, so your lifestyle is going to be predominant in the system. That's never been done before since Sodom and Gomorrah. So they want America to become Sodom and Gomorrah. So if that's the case, then the prophecy concerning America is true. She will be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. Fire and brimstone.
You know, Elder, me and Deacon Jen was talking about that right before your class started. We know about this reset that they've been talking about, this great reset. And but I was telling him, we were both saying the same thing, like, we need a moral reset. Because it's beyond, like, going back to that, and then when you're talking about the women, how they just sleeping around, and men doing the same thing. Like, we just need a moral reset, you know, because you can't find nothing worthy in this country to marry and have a family, because you're gonna be worried about, like you said, the children in the school system. Then you're gonna be worried about if you got to ask someone, do you want to go on a date? You got to go to the doctor first to see. If you got some disease, you know, who wants to deal with that? You know what I mean? Like, right? And that's the times that we in. You know, sadly to say, people have said, well, you know, you want to say, well, you got to go to the doctor. I'm not doing all that. You know, it's just, you know, I'm just venting, but you know, it just need a moral reset.
We got one hope, and that is all this is going to be temporary. All this gonna be destroyed, and these women gonna start acting like women again because they ain't gonna have the government to rely on. They gonna have the white man to run to or call 911 on. So who they gonna run to? They got to come to one of us. Because women don't get along with each other anyway. So when it comes to competition, they will fight each other for food or whatever, or water. They will fight each other. So then they're gonna look for a man to help them out because we're going in a position where the men will become men again, and that's what a woman will be looking for a man to protect her. Because a woman by herself don't have any protection, and you got these brothers getting out of prison houses, and brothers coming off the street, and they used to have 911 to call just to keep them in check, but now they don't have 911 to call. So what they're gonna do? They gotta come to us. They gotta be humble. It's a little too late for that though. Yeah, you showed your ass. So you keep on showing it. Because you said to me, I don't need no man. So when they got you in the corner, you screaming for help, I'm just gonna walk on by.
It was funny you say they showed their ass, and when you see them, they always showing their ass. Like you see them in the pic, that's all they do is twerk that. Like that's their mind.
Yeah.
Like, their mind is an ass. They got an ass mind. So who want to deal with that?
Stop it, please.
Who want to deal with that, Elder?
Elder, when you get a chance, out the class, ask your deacon what this means. Ask him what that means.
What mean?
Don't pay Shan no mind. He drinking apple juice.
I forgot. Thanks for reminding me, man. Well, I got my sweet tea here.
That come from him now.
So I can join you in your apple juice and my tea.
Praise y'all.
The session that I told you about last Thursday, the session I went to, Thursday, this past, the sister in class, the director was a black woman, a strong black woman.
Yeah.
Almost everybody in that room were parolees, men. And she was like a whip, like lions in a cage,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't keep quiet, and she was busy with the whip, telling them to be quiet. And I'm standing there like this, and I said, damn.
Woman telling the man to be quiet.
He wasn't, the brothers wouldn't shut up for nothing. They was boasting about what they did and they out of jail and stuff. And I'm sitting there listening, and it's trying to start all over the new job, and I'm going like, and every time she walked by me, I do this I do that, let her know. I said, I'm not a black man. Let her know. That's why me and her talk 30 minutes after class. Let her know who I was. I said,
You was a teacher's pet.
Proud nose.
oh, no.
I mean, he played it smart.
Yeah.
He want to be on the winner side.
There's something I want, there's something I need
Yeah.
in the program. Everybody else was a lot of gagging and messing around.
Yeah.
And I said, and I'm, on disadvantages, I'm old,
Yeah.
60. And then these brothers in their 30s, 20s,
So how old is the woman?
mid-40s, probably 40 going on 50. But she was raw. She was like, she from New York. She said, I talk New York. I don't take no, and I'm like, oh shit. I ain't mean to cuss.
A woman, I don't care right or wrong, I just can't imagine a group of brothers in a room and a woman telling them to be quiet. That just messed up.
Yeah,
I'm real old school. It just don't look right.
Yeah, well, look what she got to deal with, man. Men don't have any home
Since it
training.
was all brothers, why didn't they have a brother teaching it?
That's what I'm
They
saying.
teaching it.
She was in the-
telling a bunch
she
of
was in the
brothers
system
shut
so
up.
long. She started on the bottom level. Now she's to a level where executive level.
Well, there was no man to teach it, that's what you're saying. That's why they had to have a female teach it.
I didn't know there was one. I didn't.
Well, see,
They do
she's
that deliberately.
doing a man's job.
Job,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. They do that deliberately, though.
So that's how men supposed to address men, the way she dressed the men. So she becomes more masculine, just for the men's sake.
Right.
Because they're not going to listen to a feminine woman. They're going to listen to a strong woman. So she has to give up her femininity and put on masculinity so she can get respect.
That's how she was.
But then, what good is she to another man?
That's how she
They would
was.
have had to find somebody else for that job.
That's how she was. That's how she was.
Yeah, did you see a ring on the finger?
Nope.
There it is.
I remember. And guess what she? Oh, like he said, she was wearing garments to make them look at her.
Oh, she was? She wore tight clothes? Oh, man, that's a smart woman, that, bro. You ought to marry her.
Don't give him no idea.
I remember 1977, they had the first female supervisor. I just couldn't get past that. On my job,
Oh, on your job?
I just wasn't used to a woman come around telling me how to, and she didn't know nothing about that machinery. She come around, I mean, she was all right sister, but it was just out, and them Gentiles, they didn't like that. A black woman telling them what to do.
Yeah, I know.
That was 1977. Now everybody used to it now, but
Yeah.
it was just like, I don't know. And my dad had said when the Ford plant started hiring women, it wrecked everything.
Yeah, well, we're talking about tradition here.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Men used to be over men,
Right.
right? But here you got to deal with something that's totally opposite what you used to. And now you got a generation growing up used to women acting like men. So they think that's normal for a woman to act like a man. No, that's bad material, marriage material. So a
You can't
woman's
say
main
that.
goal in life should be to get married and have children for their husband.
Yeah, you can't say nothing to him. I said something to one of the guys at the job like last month, and they brought it up. They have sensitivity classes, so if you say something like that's a man job, you in trouble.
Sensitivity training.
Sensitivity, so that you can get in trouble. You can be fired, either get reprimanded for saying stuff like that. I mentioned the guy, I was like, man, I say you a little bit older. I said it's a young dude job, but I left it at that. I ain't say nothing else. But as we had the cloud, ooh, I'm glad he did say it because he did say something about something else. But I'm like, I'm glad I didn't say nothing else to him because you would say I'm discriminating against you or I'm harassing you because I used that, scenario. So you can't say nothing to him. You on these jobs, you can't say, oh, you a woman, can't tell me what to do. Oh, you a woman? Oh, yeah, they gonna fire you. And people a lot of them want their job, so they go along.
Well, with me, I ain't got to be concerned about that because I ain't working for nobody. Right? So when I go off, I don't hold nothing back. Ain't got no reason to hold anything back. I'm not breaking nobody's law. I'm not working for a company that had a sensitivity training.
Yeah.
I don't work for them kind of people. I work for Yahweh. Right? And Yahweh's strong, I'm strong. Yahweh said women should do this. I say the same thing. Get mad at me. Get mad at Yahweh. Because I'm just saying what he want me to say. Now, you the Christian preachers, they got to do what them women say do.
Right.
Yeah, you better not talk about a man ruling over a woman. You talk about how a woman should rule over the man. That's how they make their money. By doing what the women tell him to preach about. Preach about this, don't preach about that. You don't want you preaching about men.
You're right.
Go ahead, Brother Steph. Read verse
20.
20 again.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness,
and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of Yahweh of hosts and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel.
Now, you got to look at the way it was for the civil rights movement. Black people in their own neighborhoods, and they were prospering, but they didn't have Yahweh's law though. But once they went across that color line
Uh-oh.
and want to integrate with these white people, that's when Yahweh's law crashed in on them. So now look at them. They're destroyed as a people. And that's why it says, therefore, in verse 24, therefore as the fire devoured the stubble and the flame consumed the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of Yahweh of hosts and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. So I imagine them being separate back in the 50s before the civil rights movement and not keeping Yahweh's law and still prosperous is now catching up with them. Because they crossed the line. Because we were never supposed to mingle with other people. But while we were segregated, we were just among ourselves. White people on that side, we on that side. So, but now that law that said we're not supposed to mingle with other people, you crossed that law. And now you got to pay for it. From all the time you haven't kept Yahweh's law to now,
Okay.
you are paying for what you did.
So Elder, I heard you say this, and it makes sense. Now, when our people, well, right after Jim Crow, even slavery, even though we didn't know Yahweh, we were keeping basically those last 6 commandments when we was among ourselves, right? And a lot of those people, like you say, they may be raised up, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we're reaping the reward of our father's disobedience, whether he knew it or not, because they had to be in ignorance. And the fact to survive, they couldn't keep Yahweh's law in these white folks' face because it's against Christianity. So they had to go along with the program just to survive. So, but then the law the law has not changed. There's no mercy in not keeping Yahweh's law. So even though they did it out of ignorance, their children got to pay for their ignorance. And this is what the reward of their ignorance has brought them when they decided that we should mingle in with these white people. And look, and we have mingled with these white people. White people got us on the corporate boards. We were managers and we were supervisors, but were we supposed to ever be that way here in America? Because what it comes down to is Moshe's song. Remember, he said, I'm going to make you jealous of people that are not a people. And black people jealous of white people.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're destroyed because of the jealousy of another people that worship another God. They think that by worshiping the white man God, they'll be just as successful as the white man. But it comes with a price. See, the white man ain't going to just let you walk in his door. This is his. So if you're going to come in the door, he got something planned for you. He's going to make an offer to your wives and say, if you work for me, you got to let your husband go. I will make you a manager. I'll make you a supervisor. I'll give you all the perks of the white folks' life. But you cannot have a life with a husband and a family. And they chose that. So here we are. Talking about why we are in the condition we're in, because they wouldn't keep Yahweh's law. But first of all, you got to be aware of what you've done. Black people are not aware of this. We got a generation that think what's going on with black people today, it's all right. That it's all right for a woman to rule over a man, or to have a bunch of babies out of wedlock. It's all right with that. But that is Yahweh's punishment. Because we are now the clowns of the whole world.
Right.
We the best dancers, the best singers, the best entertainers, and get paid the big bucks. But you make the rest of us look stupid. What about people that are not comics? People that actually have a serious mind. They want to accomplish something, want to invent something. No one takes them seriously because of Cat Williams. He is funny though. But nevertheless, he's a bad representative for black people. I mean, all that foul language he uses, and it has a touch of reality to it. But the way he presents it, he presents it so that even white people can enjoy him saying the N-word. They don't have a problem with them listening to it, so black people take it, white people take it. So he say the N-word all through the show, and white people just laugh at it. Dave Chappelle do the same thing, right? But they get paid the big money. Brother Stephen, let's go to chapter 6 of Isaiah and pick it up at verse 1.
Verse 1. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Adonai sitting upon a throne high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
Mm-hmm.
And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts.
Did he actually see Yahweh of hosts? Because that's who he described. I've seen Yahweh. But that wasn't him.
Mm-mm.
That was an angel representing him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he was one of the most prolific prophets of all the prophets that you read about in the Bible. He had the most to say. But he thought he was looking at Yahweh. And he's got this vision. He that sat upon the throne, he got the vision of the seraphims. So he's looking at something that's mighty, that's beyond supernatural. And he's looking at this and trying to interpret what he's looking at. So it'd be like the same thing with us. Yahweh could show us some things and we would not know what in the world are we looking at. Look at Daniel. Yahweh showed Daniel a whole bunch of stuff. Daniel would pass out from time to time because he didn't know, what am I looking at? What is this? But Daniel got a place in the kingdom. But this is the vision of Isaiah and how he became a prophet. Because you notice in chapter 1 of Isaiah, he introduces himself, the son of Amos, in the times of the kings of Judah. But here, it tells you exactly when he became a prophet. So pick it back up at verse 5, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 5. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts.
Mm-hmm.
Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongues from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged.
Mm-hmm.
Also I heard the voice of the Adonai saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me.
Now that, when he became a prophet, right? He says, listen how it's stated that, though, in verse 8. Also I heard the voice of the Adonai, the one that sat upon the throne, saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? You notice how he phrases that? So it's more than one entity we're dealing with here, you know? So it's not just he that sat upon the throne. It's some other entity that he's dealing with when he says, "For who will go for us?" You can take that same mindset back to Genesis, chapter 1, right? Said, let us make man after our own image and after our likeness. Said God said that, right? Well, there it is again. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 6, I'll start at verse 8 again. Also I heard the voice of the Adonai saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me. And he said, Go and tell this people, Hear you indeed, but understand not, and see you indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. Then said I, Adonai, how long? And he answered, Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and Yahweh have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return, and shall be eaten. As a teal tree, and as an oak, whose substance is in them, when they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof.
Now, a couple of things here. Back to verse 8. When it said, Then said I, Here am I, send me. So you can't do anything unless Yahweh sends you. A good example of that, when you read up in Matthew chapter 21, Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 to verse 24, the Messiah told the woman that had a daughter that was sorely vexed with the devil, that I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So we're talking about people that are sent. So Isaiah says, Here am I, send me. So you got to be sent by Yahweh. That's why, for instance, a few years ago, I guess about 10 or 15 years ago, these two white people, the black, white woman and her husband, went into a black neighborhood with food to help the poor. You know what happened to him? They shot him, killed him. Right? You remember that story? They shot him. The man was trying to do something good for Yahweh's people, and they shot him and killed him because he wasn't sent. You got to be sent to these people. Yes, you walking into trouble. He wasn't sent, so it cost him his life. Yahweh ain't gonna let you just walk up on his own people. Now, whether it was murder or the reaction to it, that is the price you pay if you're not sent to Yahweh's people. Yahweh's people are dangerous people. You got to be sent to them.
Speaking of, you said that in Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 to verse 24.
Okay.
In verse 24, that's when he told the woman, I'm not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? So again, look at the definition of apostles. An apostle is someone that is sent. Right? So Yahweh got to send you somewhere before you can do exactly what he wants you to do. If you have him, then you can't, like I said yesterday, you can't say, I've been called to preach. What the hell does that mean? Who called you? Did it tell you to go preach? Did he send you to go preach? No, he just called you. So they're trying to justify being a pastor, a preacher, because by saying, well, I've been called to do this. No, that don't work here. Yahweh got to send you somewhere to do what he wants you to do. In verse, it says here, in verse 11, then said Adonai, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. And Yahweh have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. Well, so what is he referring to here? In verse 11 and 12. It says, then said Adonai, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. And Yahweh have removed men afar away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. What's he referring to here? Because he's talking about something future about to happen to these people.
Right.
So what happened to these people in the future? Because this, what happened to a little over 100 years later, much about over 150 years later, that's what he's referring to. So what is this talking about? A forsaking of the land. Now, I know you know, Steve.
fathers went into Babylon.
Yes, but Nebuchadnezzar came and destroyed Jerusalem. Right? So that was what he meant. It says when in verse 11, then said Adonai, how long? And he answered, until the city be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and Yahweh have removed men far away, and there'll be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. So he's talking about the children of Israel have been taken out of Jerusalem, out of Judah, and taken in captivity in Babylon for 70 years. Now, that's what he's referring to. But it also says, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a tilled tree, and as an oak whose substance is in them, which they cast their leaves, when they cast their leaves. So the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. Now that holy word, holy, gives you an idea of what they're referring to here. Right? So at the end of the 70 years, only a tenth of the people came out of the Babylonian captivity. And to prove that, you look at Esther and Mordecai. Well, they stayed in the Medo-Persian Empire after the children of Israel came back home. Mordecai and Esther were still in on the Medo-Persian Empire, so only a tenth of the children of Israel that were in Babylon came back. And that tenth, when it says, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a tilled tree, and as an oak whose substance is in them, when they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. So that tenth had to show back up, just for the birth of the Mashiach. That was that holy seed. Okay, Brother Stephen, let's start this. Let's go to Isaiah 7, verse 10 to verse 16.
Verse 10. Moreover, Yahweh spake again unto Ahaz, saying, ask the sign of Yahweh thy Elohim, ask it either in the depth or in the height above. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Yahweh. And he said, hear you now, O house of David, is it a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my Elohim also? Therefore the Adonai himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Butter and honey, shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. For before the child shall know to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land that thou abhorrest shall be forsaken of both her kings.
So that's happened, right, with the Mashiach. But you got some doubters, some detractors saying that really didn't come to pass. And they're confused because it said that his name shall be called Emmanuel. Well, the angel told her to name her son Yeshua. But you look at the purpose of the name, and the purpose of the name is to save Yahweh's people, Yahweh's salvation, right? But what does Emmanuel mean? God with us. So you put all that together, the fact that he was born of a virgin, and then later on he got baptized, and the Holy Spirit came and dwelt upon him at his baptism, and he heard a voice from heaven say, behold, this is my son whom I'm well pleased. So that son is God. But in the hierarchy of things, the Mashiach would be the son of the Father, right? But he had to have his spiritual son come and dwell upon him so that he can say, this is my son. That spirit I just gave you, this is my son on whom I'm well pleased. Right? So then you would have God with them, or God with us. So that would fit Emmanuel. Right? Let's continue, Brother Stephen, in chapter 8. And pick it up at verse 1.
Moreover, Yahweh said unto me, take thee a great roll and write in it with a man's pen concerning Meher Shalal Hashbash. And I took unto me faithful witnesses to record Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Yeberechiah. And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. Then said Yahweh to me, call his name Meher Shalal Hashbash. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. Yahweh spake also unto me again, saying, for as much as this people refuses the waters of Shalom that go softly, and rejoice in reason, and Remaliah's son, therefore behold, Yahweh bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria in all his glory, and he shall come up over all his channels, and go over all his banks, and he shall pass through Yehudah. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel. Associate yourselves, O you people, and you shall be broken in pieces, and give ear, all you of our countries. Gird yourselves, and you shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and you shall be broken in pieces.
Notice he said in verse 8, and it says, and he shall pass through Yehudah. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching of his wings shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel, the same thing that is going to be called the land of born of a virgin. His name shall be called Emmanuel. You got the same thing here, they call him the land, Emmanuel. But again, look at what that name means. It means God with us. So in that case here, when it says, and shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel, O God with us, then yeah, it's actually a compliment, letting them know that the land still belongs to Yahweh. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 8, verse 10. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for Elohim is with us. For Yahweh spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say you not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy. Neither fear you their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify Yahweh of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin, and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And many among them shall stumble and fall, and be broken, and be snared, and be taken. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples.
Mm-hmm.
And I will wait upon Yahweh that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I and the children whom Yahweh have given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from Yahweh of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion.
Mm-hmm.
And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God, for the living to the dead,
Mm-hmm.
to the law and to the testimony? If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in
It's a
them.
very powerful verse. Because you got a plethora of black Christian pastors don't read one law that's written in this Bible. So that means they have no light in them. So people want to get light, they go to what a light is. But if they want to stay in darkness, they go to a black Christian pastor. That's because they don't want to hear the light. They don't want to see the light. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of people is this that don't want to see the light, don't want to see the truth? Because it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Why would you go to someone that just don't have any light in them? It's because you don't want them to have light, because you don't want to be a light. Just like the Mashiach said, those men that didn't believe in did things that would that they wouldn't allow to be seen in the light. I'm paraphrasing. Because the light will manifest their darkness. Same thing here. is that they don't want the light, they want the darkness. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Isaiah chapter 8, verse 21. And they shall pass through it, hardly bestead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. And they shall look unto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness.
All right, Stephen, I'm going to stop right here and open up the floor for questions. Does anyone have any questions before we dismiss?
The class, you had a little more to this last time we read it.
The verse 16, is that the first time they mentioned disciples or?
Now, look at the wording of it. It says, bind up the testimony and seal the law among my disciples. Isaiah did not have disciples. So who is this talking about disciples?
The Mashiach disciples?
Right. So seal the law among my disciples. Look what else it says here. And I will wait for Yahweh that hide his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. So that's not talking about Isaiah. He's talking about a future tense, saying that I will wait for Yahweh, because up to that point he has hidden his face from his own people, and they didn't even realize it. They started keeping the law, but once they came out of Babylonian captivity, they started keeping the law, but it didn't change their heart. And so that Judaism that they started practicing was the last straw. And so Yahweh sent his only begotten son, but his son went and chose him disciples. He walked up to him and said, follow me. And they didn't ask him where or who are you and to do what. They asked him. They just dropped everything and just started following this man. So those will be his disciples. And really, when you look right at it, they couldn't help themselves. Because look who it is that's calling them. Like they got a choice. Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah.
You just said it just now about Christians believe that free will. There's no free will.
There's no free will. Peter didn't have no free will.
Right.
He even told him, Michelle, get away from me. I'm a sinful man, master. He said, now I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Come and follow me.
So, yeah, we had that brother up here. He was kind of a little bent on saying we have free will. He went back there and Moses said, if you do this, this is going to happen. That if don't mean you have free will. That was just a warning. Am I right? Yeah, he didn't really understand that, because how you going to have free will? This book has already been written. Like you say, we're trying to catch up to every word that's been written. You already know what we're going to do, so how you have free will?
Right. And I always ask, if you got free will, why don't you stop people from dying? Why don't you stop yourself from dying?
Right.
You got that much power that you can control your own life. What the rest of your life goes in, no, you don't. You can't do that. But you got some people that believe that just because they got in the Constitution the freedom that white people have, they think that they got free will. No, they don't even have free will. So how you going to have free will? You ain't looking at the whole picture. You don't ask questions as to why things are the way they are. It's not because of free will. It's Yahweh's will. Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah.
When he was spoken to that young king, when Yahshua, that young king, prince, he went away crying. Well, he hadn't made a choice, right?
Who?
I mean,
I think the young rich ruler that had.
Oh, when they asked him about eternal life?
right.
Yeah, what about him?
So he was weeping for what?
Weeping?
Yeah. He
He
was,
didn't say he was weeping.
I think it's,
No, that's somebody else. That's
He
somebody.
went away sorrowful. It wasn't
Sorrowful.
weeping.
I took it that. I'm sorry. I
He
took
went
it
away
that.
sorrowful.
Okay.
I took it like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have any choice. He valued his possessions more than his salvation. But the Mashiach offered it to him, though, didn't he? Yeah. He said, drop everything, sell everything you got, give it to the Lord, and come and follow me. You got treasures up in heaven. And that was a little far-fetched to him, because he had all these riches, and he's young, right? So driving around in the Bentley, and people got all the women watching him and everything, so he's not going to give that up. So he's still of the world, right? You see, the Mashiach said how hard it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Elohim. Because they know, the Mashiach knew that rich people believe in their riches. Right? They don't believe in salvation, it's about their riches. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, I just want to say, Joshua told our people, you can't serve Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
You told them that, and we proof of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but he still keeps coming out though, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Anyone else? Okay, well, let's see what's on the chat here. Let's get over here. Okay, let's see.
Excuse me.
I have Don on YouTube at the top. Okay, Shalom Don. Shalom Brother Eliyahu. Shalom Brother Yaakov in Israel. Shalom Brother Mick Anderson. Shalom Tiffany Israel. Shalom Lonely Red Wolf. Shalom Isha. Shalom Gregor Rucker. Shalom Elder Tobiah. Shalom Elder Hiram. Shalom Brother Malachi. Shalom Brother David Reed. Shalom Deacon Hanak. Nah. Thank you for lifting me up in prayer. Praise y'all, man. I always do that, bro. You beloved, my brother. You are well beloved. Shalom Nia Dapi. Shalom Susie Garman. Shalom Brother Elijah Niyambang. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Is that the one that came up yesterday from Nigeria? Do you remember? I know we had somebody from Africa made a comment. I don't know if this was the one or not, but then I can't remember nothing anyway. Shalom, Brother Elijah. Shalom, Sister Kimberly. Shalom, Esya Sharala. Shalom, Sister Naraya. Shalom, Abisha Judah. Shalom, Brother Hayam. Alahaya. Shalom, Alahaya. No, that's Elder Alahayam. Okay, all right. Are you changing your name or what? Shalom, Elder Priest and Elder. Okay. There you go. Shalom, Elder Alahayam and Mother Malaka. Shalom, Elder Mick. Shalom, Shamayan Yasharala. Shalom, Brother Abraham. Shalom, Mother Marsha. Shalom, Sister Rachel. Shalom, Yahweh Song. Shalom, Clarence Marks and Sister Yolita. Shalom, Brother Yosef in Israel. Shalom, Elwin. Shalom, Bun Gaden. Brother Hanak. Shalom, praise Yah. That was a beautiful breakdown of the branch of Isaiah 4 and 2 and Isaiah 5, 1, 7. Praise Yah, man. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Humble Roller. Humble Rollers, ATL. Shalom, Brother Herbert Moore. Shalom, Brother Adawan Ben Yasharala. Shalom, Sister Melinda Curry. Shalom, Brother Hodiah Ben Israel. I hate I missed you, man. But I had to go in the hospital that night on the second Passover. Shalom, Brother Benaiah. Black woman to nowadays call each other hoe, as in that's my hoe, meaning her partner. Also, the same goes for the female dog term. I call them Glorilla. Hey, Brother Benaiah, praise y'all, man. Y'all know a little bit more about this than me, but all I can do is see with my eyes and judge what my eyes are showing me, but also look beyond what my eyes show me. Shalom, Morning Crisp. Shalom, Thomas Miller. You're entitled to your own opinions, not your own truth. When you study history of doctrines and dogmas 100 to 1600 AD, you all heretic, run from this cult, no good place to the devil. Did you follow
I
this
can't
person?
find this dude. I don't know where he come from.
All right, well, my suggestion to you is that if you find our doctrine so offensive, change the channel. Go and look at someone that agrees with what you agree with. You don't have to put up with us. So that's my advice to you. Shalom, Brother Al-Hayim, great class, Hanak. Shalom, Elder. Just to be clear, in Isaiah 6 and 7, this altar in the temple of heaven is for what again? Let's see here. It says, Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar, and he took and laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thy iniquity is taken away.
Sorry.
And thy sin and purge. Well, look at the scenario of the throne in heaven in the book of Revelation. And the throne in heaven resembles the Ark of the Covenant that we had on this earth. And if you remember, it says here, and they touched, and he laid it upon my mouth, and lo, this has touched thy lips. Thy iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. So, if you notice, the law concerning the altar burnt offering, the altar burnt offering had to be burning all the time for the priests, the Levites, right? Well, let's look at that same scenario in Revelation. Look at the setup again. You had the throne and you had the altar, right? Well, when you go into the book of Revelation, you're going to find the same scenario. In chapter 6 of Revelation, now remember, they took the coal from the altar that was before the throne that Peter sat upon the throne, right? And this is Revelation 6 and verse 9. And we had opened the fifth seal. I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Elohim and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yah, O Adonai, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto them, to every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed, as they were, should be fulfilled. So we're looking at the scenario like we got in Revelation chapter 4. It says, And after this I looked, verse 1, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon as like a jasper and sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne in sight, like to an emerald. So we get the vision of John the Revelator is that he sees a throne set up in heaven, and also in that vision, if you notice, and for instance, in our reality here in on this earth, Yahweh had a tabernacle built for himself. And in that tabernacle had the ark of the offering, a burnt offering, the altar burnt offering within that tabernacle. So that when the children of Israel want to make a sacrifice, they bring it to the priest at the door of the tabernacle, and he take that animal, and whatever the purpose of it was, he killed that animal and offer up on the altar burnt offering, which the altar was supposed to be burning all the time. So again, that is before the Ark of the Covenant, which is Yahweh's throne on this earth. But he also had the altar of burnt offering. So we got the same scenario in Isaiah chapter 6, when the seraphims took the coals off of that altar and put it on Isaiah's lips to burn away his unclean lips. All right, so that was all about. Yeah, but again, these are visions. All right, and this is a part of heaven you cannot see. Because you got white folks say we've been all over the universe. Well, how do you miss God? So that's not the part of heaven we're talking about here. This is another part of heaven that is outside of the heaven that we're used to. So that's what he's referring to in Isaiah 6, verse 7 and 8, 6 and 7. Let's see, make sure that's it. Somebody's cooking. I smell somebody cooking.
Levi. Needs this shot here.
All right. Well, let me hurry up and wrap this up then. Yeah, that was what that was referring to in verse 6 and 7, Brother Hanok, that the altar in the temple of heaven is for what? Again, the sacrifice of Yahweh's people. All right, so that was what that altar in heaven was. As for the people that shed the blood for Yahweh. So that's what that altar was for. So they took the seraphims took the coals off the altar and burned the lips, the iniquity from Isaiah's lips. But the purpose of the altars for the sacrifice, like we just read in Revelation chapter 6, the sacrifice of Yahweh's people that kept his word. Shalom, Julius Brown. Shalom, Mikael. Shalom, elder priests and saints. Before the transgression of Adam and Eve, were they in the flesh we're currently in today, or was this flesh placed on after them after? Is our spiritual body possibly light? No, I don't think it's in the sense that you're referring to. I think you might be referring to the Mashiach's spiritual body. Now, he had a true spiritual body that did not require blood at his resurrection. Now, as far as we are concerned, we're dealing with total flesh. A spiritual body cannot be tempted of the devil. So we're tempted of the devil all the time because we are flesh. So we can't have a spiritual portion. The only spiritual thing that we have of Yahweh is the law. Right? So the law is spiritual, and the law is righteous, and the law is holy. So that is the thing that we have as far as holiness or spiritualness, as far as the things of the spirit. But we ourselves, we contend with the spirit, just like Jacob wrestled that angel all night, right? Well, that was the flesh and the spirit wrestling with each other. So we wrestle with the spirit all the time. We wrestle with the law all the time to keep from breaking the law, and we still break the law because we always lose the battle. That's what happened with Jacob and the angel. He lost the battle, but he got a blessing out of it first, right? Because a flesh cannot hurt anything spiritual because the spiritual cannot be hurt. But he wrestled with him anyway. So I ain't letting you go. So that's what we have to contend with. So we don't have a spiritual side to us, other than what Yahweh's given us. So let me make sure I understand what we got here. Before the transgression of Adam and Eve, were they in the flesh we're currently in today? Before the transgression? No. Because they did not know they were naked. Let me rephrase that. They were in the flesh, but they still did not know that they were naked. We're in the flesh, and we know that we are naked. So I'll make sure I understand the question. Before the transgression of Adam and Eve, were they in the flesh we're currently in today? Now I have to say no, because they hadn't sinned. But because of their sin, we inherited their sin. So yeah, we are flesh. We are in sinful flesh because of them. But before they sinned, they were not regular flesh. and they had the tree of life to eat from to sustain themselves. So we don't have the tree of life now. Good question though. Is our spiritual body possibly light? No, the light is the word. But we ourselves are being lightened by the word so that we are aware of what sin is. So that we won't fall into that trap of sinning out of ignorance. Yeah.
It made me think about something, Elder. So I understand the Mashiach's birth as well as being born to a virgin. Why is it considered we are born through sin and iniquity when people are married and they're not, I don't want to consider that sin, but is it sin because they pass through the woman? Why is that considered through iniquity?
What happened to baby?
Yeah, because when David told me I was born to, so
Right,
why
because
is
the negative of his mother.
Yeah.
Right? Iniquity would not be the best word to use, but
Okay.
lust
Okay.
would be a better word to use instead of iniquity. But you have to have lust in order to conceive.
Okay.
Now, you just can't go up there, let's go. And now that's got to be some excitement. So that flesh has to be excited. And that flesh becomes lustful because now you know what to do.
But I was saying like if a person if they married,
Yeah,
but
it's legit.
Yes, it should be legit, right?
Right. If
So-
that lust that you have
Uh-huh.
is legitimized by marriage.
Okay.
Hmm.
But I'm still wondering why is it considered? Why did he say that? He was just speaking in general.
It's looking at the reality of the situation that you cannot impregnate a woman without being lustful to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's still legit in a marriage. But outside of a marriage, it's illegitimate. Now you're fornicating.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Because man will always have fleshly lust.
Mm-hmm.
That's up when you get old as me. I just throw in the towel.
Get your young girl like they did David.
Yeah, so, yeah, brother Mikael, very good question. Very good question. But yeah, before they sinned, they were not like us. But after they sinned, because before they sinned, they could live forever. But after they sinned, they could not live forever. So that we're more like them after they sinned than before they sinned. And the Mashiach came along in sinful flesh. Now, you got to ask yourself, was Adam and Eve sinful flesh? Now, Paul said the Mashiach showed up in sinful flesh, condemning sin in the sinful flesh, right? So, was Adam and Eve sinful flesh?
After they gave birth, they were sinful flesh.
No, why not?
They were created, so they were.
They were created.
So they shouldn't have been. It's not sinful.
The flesh was not sinful.
It wasn't sinful.
Sin hadn't come into the world yet.
Until they get that transgress, right?
Right.
So we inherited
Right.
sin
Right.
from Adam and Eve, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they couldn't be sinful flesh because they weren't conceived in lust, right?
No,
They didn't
were,
have parents.
They were created beings, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. But that doesn't have anything to do with the flesh, right? The flesh is still sinful flesh because of their sin,
Right,
right? But before they sinned, there was no sinful flesh.
right.
So yeah, good question, brother Mikael. Said, were they in the flesh we're currently in today? No, they were not. Before the transgression, they were not like us today. But after the transgression, yeah, now they're like us, or we're like them. Was this flesh placed on them after? No, that they had the same flesh. The flesh was defiled by that sinful, the transgression of the commandment. They defiled the flesh at that point. And from that point on, all flesh had been defiled because of their sin. So yeah, they had the flesh before they sinned, and the same flesh after they sinned. But it's just the flesh had changed on them. And so now they are sinful flesh. Is our spiritual body possibly light? But again, you have to expound a little bit of what you mean by spiritual body. Do we have a spiritual body? Or are we just flesh and blood people? What does it say we have a spiritual body in the Bible? Because if you can't find it in the Bible, then you add into the Bible. All right, so that is, when you show me that in the Bible, that we have a spiritual body, then we got something to talk about. But I haven't seen it yet, that we have a spiritual body. You can assume you got a spiritual body, but that doesn't make it so. You get that spiritual body in the resurrection, like the Mashiach had. The Mashiach had a spiritual body. So if you're talking about that kind of body, no, we don't have that yet. You get that in the resurrection with a brand new body. That would be a spiritual body. But as far as this body we have now, this is not a spiritual body. It's a flesh and blood body. It can still die. It can be afflicted. It can still be harmed. So a spiritual body cannot be harmed. So that's the way I want to explain that, my brother. Good question, though. We don't have a spiritual body yet. And that was part of the my BTS yesterday about the new heaven and new earth. And that on that new earth, what kind of bodies are we going to have? It can't be flesh and blood. They have to be spiritual bodies. If they can live forever, then those must be spiritual bodies. So, because first of all, there will be no more sin in the world. So sin is what? The wrath of sin is death.
The wages.
The wages of sin is death. Thank you, man. The wages of sin is death. So there will be no more sin. There will be no more death. So at that point, then you have spiritual bodies, because then you could live forever. So that, I have to look at it that way, and that that spiritual body you're referring to won't come upon us until the new heaven and new earth are created, and that will be the kingdom of God, a kingdom of Yah. And so if you're going to dwell in that kingdom, that means you got to have eternal life in you also. And flesh and blood does not equate to eternal life.
Ever. We'll live in peace forever, won't we? And on that new earth, we'll live in peace forever, right? But there won't be no gender. He said, I ain't gonna answer that.
I don't see any more questions on here.
Good touch that.
So let me go and get out of here for they call Cash Patel.
That's around. That's one of these sisters.
Get a drink on.
Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Join us for our history class on the third day, which is Tuesday. And again, bring you great question, great insights. So some of the people that text me, I love what you got on your mind. So please continue on watching us and ask me questions. Ask me questions. I love people to ask me questions. So we can get a little bit more understanding of what is written in the Bible. Because see, I don't talk about myself. I talk about what's written, and I don't have my own perspective on this. I look at what the Bible says. I got another one.
He responded.
All right, let's see.
What time you guys at?
What you say? I got something else on here?
Oh no.
Huh?
Did you read that when he said read Romans 7?
The what now? Who is it?
Michael, Mikael.
Let me see. I might have to roll him down. Okay, here we go. Elder, can you read Romans 7:13-23? The battle between the flesh and the evil. As for the light, I was referring to the kingdom. Okay. Now, let's look at that.
113.
Oh,
All right. Okay, it says in Romans 7:13-23, it said, "Was then that which is good made death unto me? Elohim forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Okay. The battle between the flesh and the, I imagine he meant spirit. The battle between the flesh and the spirit. As for the light, I was referring to the kingdom. Okay, now that means that you have to have some pre-knowledge of you being in the kingdom. I'm afraid that hadn't happened yet. But he's giving you access as to how to get into the kingdom. First of all, your name's got to be written in the Lamb's Book of Life if you're going to make it into the kingdom of the Mashiach. It says the battle between flesh and evil. As for the light, I was referring to the kingdom. Well, I'll tell you what, let me continue on what we're seeing here with Paul. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I do, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Mm-hmm. Now, if I do that which I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Mm-hmm. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Elohim after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bring me into the captivity of the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Elohim through Yeshua HaMashiach our Adonai. So then, with the mind I myself serve the law of Elohim, but the flesh the law of sin. He's just being real. Mm-hmm. All right, he just letting you know that I'm flesh and blood. Even though I'm an apostle, I wrestle with this law too. So I'm doing things I know the law says I should not do. But I do them anyway. Mm-hmm. So he's no different from us. So there's no more that you can add to that as far as the light is concerned. If you want to add that to the light, add to the word, the law is light. So as long as you're walking in the law, you're walking in the light. So are we considering predestination? Well, if you follow us, if you look in chapter 8 of Romans, that's what you're referring to. I picked this up in verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are the called according to his purpose, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So, yeah, Paul is looking at a narrow vision of predestination, that some of us are predestined to be formed not only in this form of Adam, but also in the form of Mashiach. And that would be an image of the Mashiach. Okay, so we'll be in his image if you want to have eternal life. Right? You got to be predestined to be in his image. And all we have to be in his image is the record of his ministry in the Gospels and what the apostles said about him. So that is what we see. That it's the image of the Mashiach, because there are no pictures. So we're talking about the inner man, of the spirit that was in the Mashiach at the time of his ministry, and the spirit that was in the Mashiach after his resurrection. So we read about what he did during his ministry, and look at his doctrine, and look at his teachings, and look at how he reacted to people that were in doubt of him, and how he reacted to people that believed in what he was saying. So we got to have that kind of mindset, and that's what he means when he says predestination. That we won't know that we were predestined until it come to pass. So all we can do is continue on in what we're doing, and hope that what we're doing is the right thing to do when it comes to being predestinated to be conformed into the image of his son. All right, I got Jacob, wake up, the elder. I don't see anything else.
That's it.
All right. Well, again, good questions, Mikael. Good questions. I'm gonna go and cut it down now, cut it off now, and thank you for joining us. Join us for our history class next third day, which is Tuesday. So Yahweh bless you. Yahweh bless you, huh?
The new moon, what is that one?
Oh yeah, when is that?
Is it 6 day?
I think that's a 6 day.
It's the 15th, that's.
The 15th?
Yeah,
What day is that?
Friday, yeah.
that's a Friday,
Friday night. So we're gonna have that's this coming Friday night, right?
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have one night of
Almost
rehearsal. All right, well, this coming Friday night, we have a new moon service. So we'd like to invite you out to watch our new moon service. We celebrate according to the law every month in our calendar year. All right. Again, thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Shalom.
Holy day this month too.
Huh?
Got the holy day this month.
The holy days?
Holy day this month.
Feast of
What
Weeks.
day is that?
Feast of Weeks,
Feast of Weeks.
the
24th.
Feast of Weeks?
23rd,
I thought we already did that.
No,
23rd,
So what's that? June what? Is it in June?
no, it's May 23rd.
May
This
23rd.
month? May what?
May 23rd,
23rd.
Who got that?
That's Shabbat. After it's sundown Shabbat.
that back south or something.
Who got that?
I don't know.
Okay, I can't even find my calendar. No. So, yeah, we got a Feast of Weeks coming up also. So again,
That was in
they have to remind me because I got so many things going on in my mind. So I have to remind you that we do have these holidays coming up. We got the feast, the new moon coming up, and then we got the Feast of Weeks coming up. They call it Pentecost in the Bible, but we go by what the law says. It's called Feast of Weeks. But again, thank you, Facebook.